There comes a realization when you hit that point when you know your side's just not that good anymore. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for another review of another wonderful Oxford United game. Today, Oxford finally played Crewe Alexandra. So, third time lucky this game got going. Let's just quickly run through the team news. Oxford haven't played for a while. The last game was a much changed side in the FA Cup. So, this is the team. Obviously, the biggest thing is obviously Shodipo gets a start out on the wing, McGuane on the bench. But the bench itself does look a lot stronger with the likes of Winnall, Adji, new signing Jordan Abita on there. It does look like we've got options. There's also good news, what I talked about on our League One video, which you'll see coming up a few weeks, about Cameron Brannigan's eye injury, where literally the eye specialist at the John Radcliffe has saved his eyesight, and that's not an exaggeration to say that, which is just nuts. And as he quite rightly said, it just showed me that things are more important than football in life, which I don't agree with. No, I don't agree with. But hopefully he'll come back sometime soon because he's an important player for Oxford. Crewe, as not surprisingly, unchanged from the side that had a wonderful 2-0 result against Peterborough. They were excellent in that game, and the likes of Mikel Mandon have got 4 goals this season. Charlie Kirks has got 3 and made 3, so he's an exciting player. Omar Beckles is a strong player as well, and I have to mention your namesake, Thomas, Harry Pickering, who looks a very dangerous fullback and also a bit of a dead ball specialist as well, as shown against Peterborough. So we know this Crewe side has got the potential to cause upsets. We know they're a very good football inside and they like to press. But let's hope Oxford can get a win in this game.
Ian, what just happened? I don't like it.
As you can tell, Oxford were well beaten in this game. They were extremely poor, probably along with the game we had against Sunderland earlier in the season. This is by far the worst Oxford have looked. And they went down to their favourite scoreline, because it was Oxford United 0, Crewe Alexandra 2.
So I'll do what I always do at the beginning of this, Ian. Tell me what happened in the first half. Tell me where the game was won and lost, if that was where it happened.
Well, I'll tell you what was a common feature throughout the whole game, which started really early and carried on all the way through, which Crewe looked so much sharper, looked so much fitter, their passing looked so much crisper, and Oxford just looked a yard off the pace pretty much all the way through the game. There were so many times, especially in the first half, where we couldn't even get the ball out of our half. Every time we did it, we just gave the ball away, gave it back to Crewe, and they just looked really comfortable, really dominant. They didn't create too much. I wouldn't say they like peppered Eastwood or like really had reined in with shots, but their passing and their play in and around the box, certainly down that left-hand side, caused Oxford no end of trouble. And it, you know, if we were really like hopeful we could just get in at 0-0 at half time, because Oxford were so bad in this first half. It's unreal.
But they didn't go in at 0-0, did they? They went in 1-0. Was it a good goal? Was it well worked? Of course
they didn't go in 1-0, Thomas, of course. No, it was, no, it wasn't a good goal. I can't sugarcoat it. I mean, it was, so again, Crewe had the ball. They attacked down their left, Oxford's right, which a lot of people will point out is a weaker side because that's where Sean Clare plays, and he didn't look great on this occasion. But they were almost like they were toying with us. It was just keeping the ball, passing the ball, very intricate. But Oxford had chances to clear it and didn't take it. Playpool just standing off, looking very static. They got the ball almost to the byline. The guy whipped it in. It's kind of hit. What's his name? Is it? I said his name. Let's say it. It sort of hit Mandon and hit one of our centre backs at the same time. And it's either come off him or come off the centre back and just bobbled into the goal. So scruffy, but of any of the side that deserved to be 1-0 up, Crewe thoroughly deserved it.
Did it continue in the second half, Ian? Did they change formation? Did they make a difference? Did they, I don't know, react, or more of the same?
Pretty much more of the same. Oxford did make changes in the second half. For some reason, I'm not really too sure why, but he decided to do a straight swap for Taylor for Winnall, because Robinson refuses to play 2 strikers up front at any given time in a game. And he brought Jordan Abita on, switched Shadipo out to the other side, and that did start to make a bit of a difference. We did start to look a little bit better and started to create some chances. The only real chance we had in the game, I would say, was a free header where Winnall worked himself into some space, and he kind of fucked up the header, really. And I get that down to a lack of game time and all that stuff. But it's a header he would have backed himself to do a lot better with. But with all the with Oxford looking all right and pressing, they didn't really create too many chances. And then things just started to go from bad to worse. And the Crewe just took the sting out of the game, started to have longer spells of possession. They looked more likely to go 2-0 up, and there was a fantastic double save. Can I tell you about the double save, Thomas?
Yes,
Save.
you can.
Corner comes in, header from the Crewe player. Eastwood, wonderful instinctive reaction save. Comes out to Crewe again, great header. This time it's James Henry with a wonderful save on the line with his hand stroke head. But Oxford get away with it. So a bit lucky on that one. It's a bit inconclusive, but I think, judging by the reaction of the Crewe players, it looked like there was a bit of hand involved in that one. But a fine double save for Oxford. Even with 2 goalies, we can't beat Crewe. And then Sam Winnall goes off injured when we've already made all our subs. And we'll get to that in a minute because that just pisses me off so much. And there was one opportunity we had where we got the ball down the line. Claire put across one of those crosses that went all the way across their 6-yard box, where if a striker was there, he would have tapped it in. The one time we get a bit of fucking quality in the box, we don't have a striker on because he's bought Taylor off and Winnall's gone off injured. Oxford chased the game. Wigan Crewe hit them on the break, got the second goal. Very nice finish, job done. Great back-to-back performances and results for them. And we're, as I said at the start, left scratching our heads and scratching that realization of just saying we're not that good of a football side anymore.
Ian, I have a lot of long-term questions for me that come out of this game. Do you want to talk more about the match, or can I ask some more directed questions here?
Yeah, well, probably my long-winded answers will answer your questions.
So we talked a lot last season about Taylor and Mackie never being on the pitch at the same time, despite Mackie clearly being better to play Taylor in or play the ball in or play in behind Taylor. And when Mackie was up front by himself, he was too slow to do anything. And you're like, well, it's made for 2 strikers and you won't play 2 strikers. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're saying. Is it becoming an impediment to their style? Because it definitely didn't work in the playoffs as well.
Absolutely, Tom. I don't understand it. This looked like a tailor-made game where you could at least try it. We had nothing to lose by trying it. We were already losing. You could have put 2 strikers on, really changed it, maybe even go to something like a 4-4-2, and just really be a bit more direct. Use Winnall's. Winnall is a bit of a Mackie type player. He is quite. He'll hold the ball up quite well. You could have played into that, but it's just a reluctance to do it. It just was rather keep to this style of football, of this kind of tick-attacker, playing it out wide and getting crosses into just one player in the box, which isn't working and it isn't doing well enough. Why do we always sign players that have come off long-term injuries? Winnall is the latest one of these ones. We always sign these players that were good, but are coming off long-term injury problems. So they never are fit. Winnall comes back, first game back, first time he's played anything more than 10 minutes, injured again. Fuck knows how long he's going to be out for. So we're back to 1 striker. Obviously, he won't play Dan Adjie, so it's all Taylor now. He's not in great form and needs someone to take the pressure off him, because it's not all his fault that we're not scoring goals.
Do you think Carl Robinson, who we know will stick to his guns, we know that Oxford have had pretty poor runs under him where you're questioning every decision and then all of a sudden, magic breaks, or, Rob Dickey goes from the worst to the best center back in the case of a year. But do you think at some point it's you're just getting more angry at Carl Robinson as well? Because, Dan Adjie, what the hell is going on there? And how is this positive for the team as a whole? It's
a little bit, but I would say that in a way, the way Oxford have played in games, it's kind of made you think that we're not too far away from being back to the form we were in last season. But this just almost puts you right back to square one, because they haven't played a game for a week, 10 days, and they look so rusty. And all you heard in the build up to the game, which was first of all, is all those unnecessary comments that like Robinson and Mourinho said about Crewe and how we owe them, they really weren't necessary in the build up to the game. Why did you say that? It literally just motivated Crewe more than anything else. But they look so rusty though, Tom. The passing was so off the pace. Basic mistakes. So many times, like people were overhitting passes or trying little flicks or just passing straight to a Crewe player. It looks a mile off at the moment. And I'm just going to say one thing: is I know a lot of people again are going to say we can't defend. We're terrible at defending. This defence is under pressure all the way through the game because we cannot score goals and create chances. I think you can just say, oh, we need to be better at the back. It's like we need to be better everywhere.
I mean, like, Crewe are a good team. They played really well this season, like literally taking nothing away from this team. But Oxford United only fashioned 5 shots in that game, and Crewe fashioned 14. And I mean, like, pre-season, is that you really didn't feel that was how it was going to go.
No, but we should have. I mean, Oxford should have expected it a little bit because Crewe did this to Peterborough as well in the game before. And you know, from what I saw, they were an excellent football inside, and they were very much like what Oxford want to be. Really good football, all players comfortable on the ball, looking like they're playing with a purpose, with an intent. Didn't have any of that.
Wigan are up next, Ian. Obviously, we've already recorded our League One predictions. We might try and do a pre-match one for this game. But how are you feeling now after finally playing Crewe?
Not confident, of course. You know, absolutely. You can't be confident. You don't know. I mean, there's going to be a performance in there somewhere where Oxford turn up and play really well. It's bound to happen. Whether that means whether that's now or whether that's February, I don't know at the moment, but it's not looking good. The immediate problem is we're in a relegation zone, and we can't excuse that. That's 10 games in now, and we've lost 7 of them. That's a shocking return for a side who were supposed to be fighting at the other end of the table. I'm not confident. I mean, it's a good opportunity to get another away win. It's a good opportunity to get a clean sheet. It's a good opportunity to play a side who are struggling, but we go around to Wigan, all they're going to do is literally just park the bus. And I very much doubt Oxford being able to get back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, Oxford did. I'm going to say it, Ian. It'll be match 11 of the season, but Oxford must win against Wigan. If Wigan beat them, we can jump out of the relegation zone, essentially.
Sure. Well, I mean, again, it's if you're looking long term and thinking that there's any way Oxford can challenge up the table, then you're starting to think these games are must win. The immediate thoughts are, I just want to get out. I just want to get in mid-table. Mid-table sounds like heaven at the moment to me. Back to 2 years ago, Tom. It really is. It really is back to 2 years ago. And it's amazing. I just cannot believe, and please let me know, Oxford fans, I cannot believe it's regressed so quickly from where we looked great like 12 months ago.
I mean, yeah. Do you want me to finish this? I don't know.
There's always reasons to be cheerful, Oxford fans. The shops will be open in a few weeks' time. It's Christmas just around the corner. But you know,
Ian's favorite time of the year.
Usually, I do try to put a positive spin, but this was a really tough one. Oxford they need to get a result in the next game, otherwise, it's God knows how bad it's going to get. But it's weird, right? We talked about football and no fans and how it seems very hollow. When you're winning, this football probably feels like a beautiful escape from all what's going around the world at the moment. When you're losing, it's no fun. It is no fun. I did not enjoy watching that game. And even at the end of the game, Radio Oxford commentary said, "Thank God this dreadful game is over."
And on that note, thank God this dreadful YouTube channel is over. Ian.
See us out, Thomas. Bring us home. Bring that positivity back.
I was just going to thank all of our lovely listeners for watching. I'm going to promise on behalf of Ian that even if he doesn't respond to comments this week, I will, because this guy cannot be trusted because he's in a dark pit of despair. But we really do love all of you. We thank you all for liking, subscribing, commenting, and continuing to watch these videos. I now need to go drink some whiskey. I think Ian's going to go drink some pure ethanol. And hopefully we'll see you on the weekend, and Wigan will lose.
Yes. Let's hope we do better than losing 7-0 to Wigan.